Good afternoon and welcome to Pittsburgh City Council Cablecast public hearing. We ask that at this moment this is a public hearing for Bill 2021-2124. The clerk, please read the title of the bill.
Bill 2124, a resolution approving a new institutional master plan under the Pittsburgh Code Title IX, Zoning, Article 2, Chapter 905, Section 905.03.d, and Article 7, Chapter 922, Section 922.12.g, for the Pittsburgh Theological Seminary, named Institutional Master Plan, dated October 6, 2021, on property zoned EMI, Educational Medical Institution District, 11th Ward, 9th Council District.
Thank you very much. Our first order of business will be the introduction and presentation by Kate Ruckus and Corey Lehman from the city's planning department.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Council. I'm just going to do a quick introduction and then we'll turn it over to the Theological Seminary to make their presentation. So this is an ordinance for a new institutional master plan for the Pittsburgh Theological Seminary dated October 6th, 2021. This received a positive recommendation from Planning Commission on July 27th of 2021 with the following conditions. The IMP document shall be amended to prohibit structured parking along North Sheridan Avenue. The applicant has to return to Planning Commission for a project development plan for the building at the corner of East Liberty Boulevard and North Sheridan Avenue, and that the applicant supplement the urban design guidelines section of the institutional master plan to add language for the mixed-use building at the corner of East Liberty Boulevard and North Sheridan Avenue, where the architectural design recognizes and responds to the gateway nature of this corner and is also respectful of the residential structures across from North Sheridan Avenue. The current version of the institutional master plan has been updated and these conditions have been met. So we have posted and mailed notice to the abutting property owners 21 days in advance as required by the zoning ordinance. And normally this would have required a public hearing by November 24th, 2021, but the applicant has agreed to an extension beyond this and council has that documentation. So with that, I will turn it over to the applicants to make the presentation.
Hello, everyone. Can everybody hear me? Dan Engen from VEBH Architects. I'm on the line with Thomas Hines from the Pittsburgh Theological Seminary. Is it okay if I share my screen? See if that can work. I'll try to make this brief because the master plan is 70 pages long, and there were just some orientation things that I thought we should start with. This is a diagram of the existing campus, just for orientation purposes for everyone. This is North Highland Avenue. Most of the images you'll see, it'll be on the bottom of the page. East Liberty on the right-hand side, and North Sheridan Avenue is bounding the technically it's the south side of the campus, but north side of the page there. The campus, we've been here obviously for a very long time, and we've done multiple master plans over the years. This is our 10-year outlook. The main campus facilities that everybody is used to seeing as they travel back and forth along North Highland is the priority buildings of Long Hall, the older building there, main administration building, the Hicks Memorial Chapel, nice big tall chapel there. There's a small apartment building called the Fulton Apartments over here on the left-hand portion of the page. And on the right-hand side, what you see are Callian Residence Hall, and McNaughter Hall is also an administrative building that's connected to Long Hall. In the back is the Barber Library, which is the source of the latest project that was done, a complete overhaul and renovation of that building. The remainder of the site, there are some smaller maintenance buildings and things like that. But essentially, we have access along North Highland coming in. Most of the folks park in the back of the property along North Sheraton, and you can come through, and there's an additional parking lot here. We have quite a bit of green space around the edges of the campus. And then some additional parking, which is offered as shared parking for neighbors. Let's see, I'll keep on. So as part of our 10-year plan, this is the master planning key document on page 26. It shows some changes here. It shows the replacement of a potential replacement of the apartment building over here on the left-hand side of the campus image. The McNaughter Hall, which is this big long hall that's connected to Long Hall, currently right now is we're envisioning that potentially gets replaced. It is a combination administration building, and it has a cafeteria in there, which is very large, and it's oversized for the number of students that we have, which is just over 200. We don't have very many students living on campus. So the idea potentially in the near future is to maybe get rid of that building and replace it with a smaller, more modern building. Where Callion Hall is, there is the potential of a future residence hall, almost like a mirror image of Callion Hall, to be added. And then our biggest consideration for a potential future is along the East Liberty Boulevard corridor. The school, the seminary has been considering a multi-use development there, possibly a commercial aspect on the first floor, and then multi-story residential that would serve the community at large, also provide some additional housing opportunities for them. Many of our students are older and have families. Also, there's a consideration along North Sheraton Avenue here for some small townhome as a part of that development. And that has been the greater majority of our focus in working with the zoning department and the community, which is currently right now there really is just open area and some paving, old tennis courts and things like that over here on this corner of the campus, and a potential change to a developer-led project might have some significant effects on the impression of the campus and for the community adjacencies. So we've explored that as a part of this process. On this slide is a 3D view. Here is North Highland Avenue. This is East Liberty right here, and then Sheridan is right here. This is Long Hall, the main building. This is the chapel. This is Callion Hall, the dormitory. This building here would be the potential replacement for McNaughter Hall, which is slightly smaller. This is a potential future dormitory residence hall scenario similar to Callion Hall. And then this corner right here is a larger development. This is just a massing model, which essentially there would be parking on the lower portion with the main lobby recessed component, and then residential up above. And you can see the corner, which Kate mentioned. We had a lot of discussion about how to step back and be sensitive to the folks that are coming up and down Sheridan and living along that street. And then just beyond, you can kind of see the peaks of a few of the townhomes. Down below here is a massing study showing heights. A lot of our buildings on campus are already pretty high. The chapel is the highest at 80 feet. Let me go ahead and continue. Here's another view of that corner of East Liberty Boulevard and North Sheridan Avenue. This is a potential development right along the East Liberty, again, residential building approximately 5 or 6 stories tall. And then these are the potential townhome development. A couple other views. This view is that same view where we're on East Liberty and on North Sheraton, just to get a little bit better idea of how much space is actually there. This is real-time modeling and to give an idea of how the building might feel from ground level. This is the East Liberty Boulevard corridor here. We did step the building back. Zoning technically allows us to go all the way up to the sidewalk. We push back to add some green space and not loom over the roadway here. Everyone's probably familiar with the fact that East Liberty Boulevard in this area is a boulevard. It actually has green space. So this traffic is heading towards town, and on the other side of the boulevard, of course, going the other way. Directly opposite of this potential development is the Home Depot, which is to the left in this picture and to the right in this picture. That might help with orientation purposes. Everybody knows where the Home Depots are. Another quick view of that same corner. And then a little bit of a streetscape here showing the massing. This is North Sheraton. The residence is on one side. Shows us stepping back on that around that corner and what our height differentials are as you move through the site. There's a helpful diagram to show the setbacks in the master plan. And we've done quite a bit of an analysis of parking. One of the things that has been a blessing for the seminary is that they don't use all their parking typically. They have more parking than is necessary on a daily basis. And they often, when there are events at the Obama School that's directly across the street across North Highland, they offer their parking lots for their events. So there's some community sharing going on. And then if there ever, occasionally there are a couple times a year, some events that the seminary holds that they invite community to come. And sometimes those, if we're worried about having enough parking, we have reciprocal relationships with neighbors such as Home Depot and the Obama School. And they let us park over there too. So circulation is really important on the campus. One of the changes that the master plan ultimately would like to make is to make a loop road through there. Currently, right now, we come in and it's a little congested and difficult. You come in and then in the parking lots, you have to turn around and then come back out. Ultimately, when McNaughter Hall is replaced, we'll be able to make a loop road. This is an existing entrance location currently right now that we'd actually be able to hook back up and complete the loop and make the circulation a little bit stronger on the campus. Also, with any development along East Liberty, the idea is to, besides parking underneath the building, to share parking on the campus, regular campus proper, because we have the extra parking. So just trying to reduce the amount of pervious area or impervious area in general. And this portion of the property, we do have some hard surface there right now. We're part of the master plan is to ultimately convert that to green space. And I think that does a fairly good job of orienting things. Tom, would you like to add anything about the process and any other comments that I might have missed in my quick little thing here?
Of course. So thank you very much, everyone, for the hearing and the opportunity to present. When we look at our campus, we look at the East Liberty side is the more, I'm going to try to put quotes up, commercial side, transitioning to a residential side by the time you get to St. Marie. For us, what we really focus on is what we call the academic core. So that's Hicks Memorial Chapel, it's the Barber Library, it's McKnocker Hall, or its replacement, which is the letter L there, and Long Hall, which is our main administration building. It's also where all of our classrooms are. The reality for seminaries is attendance has been going down for a number of years. As Dan alluded, we have a little bit over 200 students right now. And for our facilities, I mean, frankly, they're oversized for what we need on a day-to-day basis. As many of you may be aware, last year we sold, or June of 2020, we sold 3 apartment buildings we own so they could be converted to affordable housing. We rent 18 of those units out of the building so that we're providing market rate income to Action Housing, and the rest of them are for affordable housing. With Fulton Hall, it's an older building. It was built in the 50s. It's B on this chart, and you know, it's 1 bedroom inefficiencies, and it is what it is. Our students live there. It's comfortable. We do a good job maintaining it. But at some point in the next 10 years, we're hoping to replace that, to right size it for what we need for our residential students today. One of the things we're trying to do with this is make the campus more welcoming to the community, and create more green space on our campus. Many people come to our campus now, walk their dogs. I see people playing basketball on our tennis courts. The charter school across the street uses it for soccer. Rodman Street Church parks their bus. Many other people park their bus on our campus, or, you know, as Dan indicated, use it for overflow parking. But so for us, the first thing is we want to strengthen that academic core, and strengthening the academic core is about compression and how do you bring people closer together. And then the other part of our theme was developing the edge, which caused us to look at, you know, the development on the East Liberty side. One of the, you know, we did a study on it, and it's really, you know, if that is developed, it will be focused on kind of the missing middle, or, you know, whether it's middle class senior housing. It's going to be something along those lines versus market rate, because that's more missionally aligned with who Pittsburgh Theological Seminary is. But you know, happy to take any questions or anything. And Dan, if there's other things that you need to present on either the parking or circulation, et cetera.
I'd be okay with questions. It's just lots of.
Thank you very much. I do not have any questions, and I'm going to, if that is the end of your presentation, I will now move toward our public hearing part, which is our registered guest. And so thank you very much for your presentation. I'll say some things at the end, and I'll move to our registered guests. I have 4 registered guests. The first guest I have is Thelia Gray. Are you with us, Ms. Gray? Or
Yes,
Gray?
I'm here.
All right.
Thank you. I want to say how much I enjoy the campus. I have a healthcare practice across Highland Ave, and one of the main reasons I took that space was the beautiful, beautiful view of the seminary. And I applaud everything I read in the plan about welcoming the community, and also about preserving the green space. I think that's the absolute most priceless thing about your campus, is those mature trees and that open green space. So my only concern and question is about the amphitheater that on the plan is in front of the chapel. I can't tell from the drawing if it is going to require the removal of those really large trees, mature trees. There's a linden and a ginkgo. I don't know if you know the ones I mean.
Yes, we know.
Okay, and my hope is that you wouldn't do anything to endanger them, because if you're looking for a welcoming aspect in that area, those trees really provide that, and that linden tree in particular is unique and priceless. And that was my only concern.
Okay, thank you very much. Next registered speaker is Lily Bonga. Are you with us, Miss Bonga? Lily Bonga. Not seeing Lily, we'll move to Darren Hollingsworth. Darren Hollingsworth, are you with me today? Darren Hollingsworth. Okay,
Yes,
seeing.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. My fiance and I are building a home on the corner of Sheridan and East Liberty. It will be complete very shortly, within the next 2 months or so, at some great cost. But we were pretty excited to move into the neighborhood. We're originally New Yorkers and grew up in Brooklyn, which used to be a low-density neighborhood, believe it or not, if you've never been to New York. But with some zoning changes, it's become sort of a quasi-Manhattan. When we saw the plans, we were concerned about the fact that what for us was, a really lovely view looking across at just the trees and the tennis courts would then be filled with this huge edifice that would quickly, I think, take precedence over the feel and the ambiance of the neighborhood. So we felt we had to comment. By no means are we opposed to progress, but certainly we think it should be within with respect to the neighborhood's legacy and history, and towards the the future that's inclusive of the residents there. So while I hope this plan goes forward, I hope it goes forward without that large edifice facing us directly, because I think as we drove around the neighborhood, in fact, trying to see if there was anything relatively similar to that, we could not find any sort of scenario where low density housing was abutted by such a large residential and I guess there's retail on the ground level. So all of that is to say we oppose that specific part of their plan.
thank you very much. I've seen the house going up, and so I look forward to being finished. I did notice it. Next, we have Jules Crosby. Are you with us? Jules Crosby. Last time, Jules Crosby or Lily Bonga, either one? Okay, now we will open up to members who are here. Is there anyone who wants to address this zoning petition who's in council?
Yes. My name is Yvonne F. Brown. I live in the Hill District. At one time when I was younger, I had a friend a boyfriend, and he was a minister from Ghana. He lived over in your area. I really didn't know that children went to the school, and I'm glad that I came and I have learned something today. But I would also like to refer back to Gary. Gary is explaining to you that they've made the decision to buy them a home and they're building them one. And he's saying if you put that big building, it would block his view. I agree with that. If he's already there, then you just need to try to take and put the building, if you have to, somewhere else, but not block his point of view, his view. And he was saying how lovely it is. It is a nice area out there. My son used to go to his Obama school now, but he went there for a while. I came today because I missed this morning, and I wanted to say that there has to be a way that you could put your meeting, have the papers out there so we can find out when the meetings, because once I leave, I can't find out about it. But I do thank the opportunity to have the opportunity to speak, and Mr. Burgess did not interrupt me. Thank you again, Mr. Burgess. You seem to be learning. And thank you from the seminary. Thank you for a beautiful place that you have. And please consider what Gary said about his new home. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. I want to thank all speakers for participating. I want to thank the seminary representatives for participating. I will say that I have been talking to the seminary about their redevelopment plan. I think it's been 3 years. I think is when we first started those discussions. It seems not that long, but I think it's been over 3 years. When we first talking about the affordable housing and the seminary's willingness to use their properties and resources to further the mission of affordable housing in our city. And I want to compliment them in putting their faith in action. I will be putting this legislation on next week's standing committee meeting next Wednesday. I, of course, will be voting in the positive and the affirmative for the master plan. And there will be time for the public to comment again on next Wednesday during the council, before our council meeting. With that, that will conclude our public hearing. Again, we thank everyone for participating, and we look forward to having this master plan approved. I think that's it. If there's anything from our guests, if not, I'm going to adjourn this meeting.
Thank you
We
very
are-
much.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
very much.
You're welcome. We are adjourned.